Hello again and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is BGFH and I'm back for another accessible iOS game. And this time we're looking at a title that kind of came out of nowhere for me and surprised me a bit with the kind of presentation and the depth of the variety of gameplay. What we're going to look at this time is a game called A Blind Legend. And this is an audio game that it has no visuals, so you can't even really cheat. It is all audio and gesture based. And, you know, if you're familiar with Papa Sangre, The Nightjar, Audio Defense, those types of things, a couple of the other titles that I've covered on the channel for audio games, similar to those, but I would say maybe a little bit more in depth. Like I said, a little bit more variety in the different types of scenarios that you are doing.
Blind Legend. Double tap to open.
So let's go into Blind Legend.
A Blind Legend.
A Blind Legend.
Do we know?
Made by I think it's a French company.
France Culture.
Sounds French.
Present. A Blind Legend.
Okay, so kind of like your title card credits.
Loading.
Here. And the heartbeat is just telling that, okay, we're loading here.
Welcome to A Blind Legend. Main menu. Start the navigation now by tapping twice on the screen.
Okay, let's do that.
Continue. To go back to the main menu from the game, slide 2 fingers to the right. You cannot go back to the main menu during a fight.
Okay, self-explanatory. So we can return to the main menu at any time by swiping 2 fingers from the right, as she said. Now, this is, like I said, it's kind of an action story-based game. And, you know, similar to something, like I said, like the Nightjar or something like that, but a bit different. If I remember correctly, you play it in pretty much portrait orientation. And the thing is that it's a free game, but you have lives. I believe you start with 5. And every time you die, obviously you lose a life, but if you lose all of them, you have to wait for your lives to recharge, or again, just like a freemium game that we're getting used to these days, you can buy more lives. I haven't looked under the options to see if you have an own it outright. Actually, maybe I did. I don't remember. Maybe we'll take a peek at that later on to see, but I don't think this developer has an option to just buy the game outright. So let's swipe to the right here.
New game.
So I could have continued where I left off in the story. I have not beat this yet. I'm a fair ways in, I think. But I've beat several levels so far. So I can do a new game.
Select a scene.
We're going to do that here shortly.
Options.
Options.
My remaining lives.
My remaining lives.
Purchase lives.
Okay.
If you are blind, let someone help you. 5 lives left.
Now, that option is weird. There's 2 options on the main menu that, you know, this is a blind accessible game, sure. But it strikes me as weird that they say, if you are blind, have someone help you buy more lives. Like, don't they know that voiceover is in the iOS? Like, a blind person, or do they think blind people don't have money and somebody has to buy the game for you because you're blind and you don't have any money? It's just sort of a weird, like, none of the other options say, have somebody help you. It just seems a little strange to me, I guess.
Credits.
Credits, and I think...
Newsletter subscription.
Yeah.
If you are blind, let someone help you.
I'm pretty sure I know how to type an email address, guys. So, yeah, those are the 2 kind of weird things that I noticed when I was scrolling through the menus here. It's like, okay, that's just sort of strange. But I'm not going to worry about it anymore. We are going to play the game.
Quit.
Actually, we are going
Continue.
to...
New game. Select a scene. Options.
Let's see what options are. I don't even remember what's in
Main
here.
volume.
Okay, main volume.
Deactivate vibrations.
Disactivate vibrations. I think it means deactivate, but sure.
Deactivate screen display.
Okay.
Main volume.
Okay, so that's it.
Deactivate vibrations.
How do I
Deactivate screen display.
go back?
Deactivate screen display.
No.
Main volume.
Uh-oh. How do I go back? Because I can't do the two-finger swipe right. I'm not in a game. I don't want to trigger any of these
Deactivate
options.
vibration. Main volume.
Well,
100%.
sure.
Main volume. Deactivate main volume.
I'm not sure I know how to go back, you guys. I feel really stupid.
Deactivate screen display. Main
No.
volume.
How do I go back?
Deactivate screen display.
No.
Deactivate vibrations. Main volume. Options.
Okay. That didn't work before. So if I swipe up with one finger, I can back out. Okay, that's good to know. So one thing I will say before I go into the game too, I mean, there are a few weird word and language issues with some of the descriptions, and I think the dialogue, if I remember so far, is mostly okay. But there was one or two times, even in like the descriptions, like before you enter a scenario, they kind of give you a little bit of a gesture overview of how to play that particular level. And there was one in particular that I had trouble where basically you're blocking with your sword or with your shield before you attack. And the problem is like it says pinch to block with your shield. And then it said like let go, or I don't remember how it was worded, but I thought you were just supposed to let go at a certain time and you parry. However, on the AppleVis forum, I saw some other people having trouble with that on the forum, and I saw basically what it should have said was to basically to spread your fingers. So like don't just let go, but actually make like an outward spreading motion, because you're actually trying to push them away, not just pinch in, but kind of the opposite of that, because that way you're kind of, bashing them with your shield to kind of knock them off guard. And so I did kind of brute force my way through that part of the game inadvertently, but I was wondering why I'm doing what you told me to do. So there are, I guess, like I said, being made in a different country, there are a few different language issues that maybe they can patch here and there throughout the game. But let's go.
Select a scene.
Let's select a scene, and let's just start from the beginning just so you can kind of hear
Scene
what the game
1.
is like.
The Hamlet.
I think...
Scene 10. The Fisherman's Village.
Yeah, so I'm up to scene 10. I don't know how many there are, but we're going to start with scene 1.
Scene 1. The
And I hope
Hamlet.
to God that this doesn't overwrite my game. Hopefully this is just, hey, play what you have already done. So let's double tap.
Scene 1. The Hamlet.
Yeah. There you go.
Loading.
I find it funny that there's like a lot of loading. This reminds me of like a 90s era CD-ROM game where you had loading between every other loading little screen, between levels or between stat screens. Early PlayStation or early like 90s CD-ROM games. And the loading times are kind of long, which really surprises me for being flash memory.
This way, Father.
You embody Edward Blake, the famous blind knight, and you will be guided by your daughter Louise. To move, put your finger on the screen, then slide it slowly upwards. You will keep moving as long as you hold your finger on the screen. It's your turn.
Okay. Now if I tap the screen...
To move, put your finger on the screen, then slide it slowly upward. Perfect. You know how to move. You can vary your speed by sliding your finger further on the screen. It's your time to play.
Alright, so we're going to walk slow. Or I can walk
To rotate
fast.
on yourself, put your finger on the screen, then slide it right or left while holding it on the screen.
To
You will
rotate
keep on turning
yourself?
as long as you hold your finger on the screen. It's your turn.
Sorry, I know it's not really that funny, but it kind of reminds me of like the English
To
that's
rotate
in...
on yourself, put your finger on the
yes,
screen,
okay, I get
then
it.
slide it right or
It just reminds me of
Good.
like...
By turning like this you can change direction while you move, guided by the sounds you hear. Anytime you need Louise to tell you how to reach her, tap once on the screen.
Okay,
It's your
makes
time
sense.
to play.
Over here.
Let's turn.
More to the left.
Sure.
Turn left. It's straight ahead.
Yep. So it just, like, I laugh because it reminds me of the bad voice acting in, like, the Resident Evil games and, like, some of the early CD-ROM games. Like, you know what they're trying to say.
Each time you reach your daughter, she will tell you and leave towards the next destination. It's your turn.
Come, Father. Let's go and join Mother at the village square. This way.
Okay. So I'm going to center her. We're going to run. Come on. What?
On your right.
Now, I do have voiceover, and I don't know if that's... Come on! Let me turn voiceover off.
Voiceover off.
I think... I'm actually...
More to the right.
Yeah.
This way. Let's go.
For some reason, I was having some trouble getting it to respond. So we got some good binaural audio.
On your right. On your right.
Good ambient. Good ambient
Whenever you
sounds.
hear this sound, an important scene is about to happen.
Okay. Now we're kind of in a cutscene here.
What's that?
That's
The
my
king's
character.
guard.
Take her!
Don't touch me. Let me go.
Caroline!
Mother.
Where is the cripple?
I don't know.
In the name of Thork, speak or I'll cut you open!
Please, I beg of you.
Find Blake!
Lord Blake, they are looking for you. You cannot stay here. You must hide. Miss Louise, take your father to the courtyard.
There are too many of them, Father. Come.
Whenever you hear this sound, it's your turn to play.
Go.
Alright. I think we go this way a little bit.
Let's go. This way, Father.
So what I do is I kind of wait, I listen to her footsteps, and I just try to aim a little bit here. And you do have to be good at aiming because there are some time-sensitive stuff later on where you better be able to follow her
We've
quick.
got Blake's wife!
Perfect. Lord Stilton.
Bastards! Phil! Release me or he'll kill you!
Silence.
Let's go!
And the cripple boss? We'll get him later. The king is awaiting his prisoner. Come on!
Mother, no!
Dogs, I'll cut your throats one by one.
Oh yeah, there's some
Loading.
pretty gnarly sound effects and stuff. So it's not the most kid-friendly game by any stretch of the imagination. So I forgot to warn you guys about that early on. But now we're getting another loading zone. So that is basically the first area, the first level. Lots more heart beating, lots more loading. Here we go.
Sir Blake, my father has finished your sword. It's at the forge.
Excellent. Swords are good.
You're close. Let's go.
Okay. I hear the smithy up there.
Let's go.
Your sword, Lord Blake. May she protect you from this mad king.
To draw out or put away your sword, tap twice on the screen.
Okay.
You can't move with your sword in your hand. Your heartbeat reflects your health. The more you get hit, the more it speeds up.
Yep.
Once the action is done, Blake automatically puts away his sword.
Okay. Now we can go kill
They're
stuff.
coming back!
Flee, my lord, and stay off the road.
Thank you. Get your things, Louise. We're going to free your mother.
Kind of reminds me of a different accent
Loading.
of Terminator. We're going to free your mother. I don't know, just for some reason. I don't know. The voice acting is amusing. It's cool, though. Like I said, I do enjoy this game quite a bit. I definitely want to finish it. Come on. You know you wanna. Come on. Surprising amount of loading. I don't know if there is actually that much loading, or if it's just for effect.
Where are we going, Father?
We must cross the plain to reach the forest and enter into Thork's kingdom. Hurry up! The storm is close.
Let's go!
Alright, so we'll play a little bit more.
Let's go! Let's go! The path is thick with thorns.
Stand back.
To draw out or put away your sword, tap twice on the screen.
Yeah, so we're gonna...
To draw out or put away your sword,
I did.
tap twice on the screen.
We're part of...
To draw out or put away your sword, tap twice on the screen.
I am tapping twice.
To draw out or put away your sword, tap twice on the screen.
I wonder if we're getting some interference with...
To draw out or put away your sword,
My
tap
mirroring
twice on
here.
the screen.
So I had no problem with this earlier.
To draw out or put away your sword, tap twice on the screen.
Okay,
To
finally.
slice an obstacle in front of you, slide quickly your finger upwards.
So I'll slide your finger. Like I said, they're just little grammatical things that... There we go.
That's better, Father. The path is cleared. This way.
We need a shelter. Can you see anything?
There, on the right. A cave.
That'll work.
You're close. Let's go. Straight ahead. Let's go.
She's more off to the left.
On your left. Turn left.
I know, lady. Or girl, whatever.
Let's go.
Wolves.
It's straight ahead.
Okay, echoing the
All
cave.
right.
Loading.
Alright. So far, pretty easy. I think now we're going to get into some basic combat. Like I said, they do layer on... I do like the fact that they layer on more mechanics and they kind of mix things up as things go on. So it's not just like, you do this, then you do this. Like, pretty soon you're kind of combining several different things together. But they're kind of just teaching you different things
Father,
now.
do you think that mother is...
Hide, Louise! Quickly!
Alright, bring it.
When the enemy growls in an aggressive way, slide quickly your finger in his direction to strike him.
Yeah, that's...
Do not hit too soon or too late. Wait for the right moment.
Okay. Oh! I swiped. That's bull. What? I think there's some lag here. We may have a problem. Alright, I'll have to be really up on it.
To block with your shield, pinch the screen.
Right.
You will remain protected as long as your fingers pinch the screen. While you're protected, analyze the enemy's behavior to hit him at the right moment.
Now you hear that everything is muffled sounding. That tells me that I'm protected. Bring it. See, I'm blocking. Now I'm good. Haha. buddy. Boom. I don't have to block, but I was just gonna show you. Oh god! That was my fault. What? Come on. Yeah, there's some lag. Definitely. There's definitely some lag, because I'm hitting this like... Okay. You done yet? Come on. Haha, you're dead now, whatever you are.
Father, are you injured?
Yeah, a little.
It's all right. We must sleep now. We have a long journey ahead of us.
Interestingly, you don't seem to regain
Loading.
health after each thing, so you eventually will kind of just die. There doesn't seem to be, that I know of anyway, like a way to eat food or, you know, use a potion or something in between battles or something to regain some of your health back. But there definitely is some...
Let's go, Louise. Can you see the forest in the distance?
Yes, Father. It's this way. Follow me.
There are definitely some...
Loading.
I'm going to go back to the main menu here. There is definitely some lag due to the
Welcome to A
streaming.
Blind Legend. Main
the
menu.
mirroring.
Start the
I wanna show
navigation
you-
now
oh
by
God, this is
tapping
gonna be a
twice on the
disaster.
screen.
I'll show you before we wrap up here.
Main menu. Start the navigation now by tapping twice on the screen. Continue. To new game. Select a scene.
Let's select a scene.
Scene 1. The
This is
Hamlet.
going to go horribly wrong just because of the lag, because I had trouble with this even without any lag, just playing it with headphones directly connected to my iPhone. I will also mention that you probably want to play this with a wired headset versus a Bluetooth one, because some of the timing on this is really sensitive, and depending on the Bluetooth headset that you use, you may have a bit more trouble
Scene
based on
Scene
that.
3. The Fields. Scene 4. The Cave.
So that's where I was.
Scene
just
5.
beat it.
The Plains. Scene 6. Edge of the Whispering Wood. Scene 7. The Whispering Wood.
Okay.
Scene 8. The Horseback Chase.
Oh, this part sucked. So eventually I get a horse, and we are traveling, and now if I go here, I want to show you a mission that I really had trouble with, because, and I still don't exactly understand. Basically, she's going to call out directions like left, right. I get that. Perfectly fine. But occasionally, or randomly, sometimes it's occasionally, and sometimes it seems to be like every other move, she'll tell you, look out, and that's where you have to jump. You have to swipe up to jump your horse. And the problem is that by the time she says look out, you're already pretty much getting hit. I don't know. I think they need to fine-tune that level, or they need to kind of fine-tune some of the timing overall in this game, because some of it is a little sketchy. At least, you know, like I said, some areas I really don't have a problem with. But this one, I just had a heck of a time. So I want to show you this before we
Scene
wrap up here.
8. The Horseback Chase. Loading.
So we're going to load this, and you're going to watch me probably fail miserably. It's a short sequence, but depending on how many jumps they give me, it could be just it could go horrifically wrong. It's a
Guide
cool
me
scene.
through the trees!
Slide your finger quickly in the direction pointed by Louise to avoid obstacles. Slide quickly upwards to jump.
Right! Left!
Okay.
Left! Right!
Okay.
Right! Look out! Left!
See, that always
Look out!
happens. That's
Right!
bullshit.
Look out! Left!
You
Look
can't.
out!
Look at this. And now you get to hear me die.
Father! No!
That is a great death music, though. It actually sounds more
4
science
lives
fiction-y, though.
left.
Or like a
Next
cheesy...
life in less than 20
a
minutes.
cheesy 80s horror movie. Just that...
Loading.
It just sounds really cool. I love that. That is a really cool... I just really like that sound effect. Or that little musical game over sort of thing. So, like I
Guide
said,
me through the trees.
some of the lag is, or some of the...
Slide your finger quickly in the
lag is
direction
one thing,
pointed
but like
by
I said, there's
Louise to
no time
avoid
to rest. It says, "Look
obstacles.
out, I'm already
Slide
getting hit."
quickly upwards to jump.
It's...
Right!
I hate this level.
Right!
I hate it.
Left!
See, I got that.
Right!
Yeah.
Left!
Yep.
Left!
Left.
Right!
Ah.
Right!
Huh?
Left!
Yeah.
Right! Right!
Right.
Right!
Right.
Look out! Faster! Faster! They're
Jesus
gaining on
crap.
us! Left!
Left.
Left!
Huh?
Right!
Yeah.
Left!
Yeah.
Left!
Huh?
Left! Look out! Look out! There's a ravine right ahead!
Okay.
Tell me when to jump.
Now!
Alright, I actually beat it. Alright. So, like I said, if you get lucky and they don't give you a lot of jumps beforehand, I got hit twice, maybe 3 times. I did beat it, but it's just that jumping area, the jump mechanic, she's like, look out, and
Loading.
you're just getting hit right away. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you that. Like I said, there are some really cool sequences in this game that are like that, and it's like, until you figure them out, or until you, like I said, some of the timing is really maybe a little rigid, but pretty cool. Pretty cool game overall, and like I said, I love the variety that they have so far. So we got away from our chasers here.
Where is that music coming from, Father?
Tell me what you see.
We are on a bridge, surrounded by fog, and there is a deep ravine beneath us. I'm scared. Is there really no other way, Father? There!
And we
Loading.
are gonna go back to the main menu. We're gonna let you discover the rest of that on your own. So that is a look at a blind...
Welcome to A Blind Legend. Main menu.
Yeah, we're gonna make you be quiet. We're gonna go to my home screen here. Now I noticed that my visuals, like when I use the sword and stuff, the visuals, you don't have any except there's like a little lightning whoosh, like a swipe of a sword or something. There's no image, but I noticed that the graphics have actually froze on the actual video. So I mean, it's not really important. There's basically just like a grayish background, no real graphics to speak of or anything. So it won't hurt. As long as it's recorded, I'll be happy. I'm hoping that the audio did. I'm hoping that this worked. But that is A Blind Legend. It is available for iOS right now. It is free, and like I said, if you do run out of lives, you can wait. I think it's like 20 minutes a pop for a life to recharge, or you can purchase more. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like the variety. There are a few language issues, both in, like I said, especially some of the voiceover descriptions are kind of worded a little bit funny, and for the most part, it doesn't really matter. You know what they're trying to say. But like I said, there was that one time where I had that issue later on with the shield. I didn't understand what they were trying to tell me to do. Or I did what they told me to do, but it wasn't what they meant for me to do. So, yeah, I have not finished the game yet myself, but I definitely want to get around to finishing it because I'm curious to see what other scenarios they put you in. And like I said, yeah, I like the audio. Overall, the presentation is good. And if you're looking for another great audio game on iOS, there's going to be quite a few of these things for the iPhone, iPad, etc. Definitely give it a look. A Blind Legend. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79 for more posts about the channel and all kinds of other stuff here and there. So follow me there, and hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys again